Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street, in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private, blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. Quantum Computing Incorporated is on a mission to accelerate quantum computing for real-world business solutions. And with me is Rob Liscouski, the CEO of Quantum Computing, and Hunter Gaylor, who's going to be co-hosting with me on this interview. And so let's just start, Bob, with just tell us a little bit about the quantum chip and bring us up to date with what the company's been doing since last time we talked.
It's great to be back. I know you had Bill McGann in the last segment that we did this, and Bill kind of went deep into the technology. And I want to kind of bring it back up to talking about the company a little bit more and telling you about what we're doing. So since we last met, we launched our subscription service to our Dirac entropy quantum computer. So the public now, or paying customers, actually have access to the quantum computer via the web. And we're actually executing on some contracts with that right now. I think we announced the Rabobank contract during Bill's time here. And we're marching down that path, right? So we're actually commercially in the marketplace today, and we're executing on that. But we've also begun to roll out some other applications besides just the quantum computing piece, which I'm sure we'll be talking about today.
Yeah.
Well, and one of those, you mentioned Rabobank in the past, and Bill talked about that.
Right.
That's cybersecurity. So there's a huge play for marketability. Can you talk to where your company is in launching applications in the cybersecurity space?
Yeah, you bet. In fact, with Rabobank, we're actually doing fraud detection. So it's a different form of cybersecurity. It's actually looking at transactions to be able to determine if they're fraudulent or not. And they do, millions of transactions. So it's got to be done quite robustly. On the cybersecurity piece, what's really interesting, it's got applications across the spectrum of domains, right? Not just fintech and financial applications, but it's got infrastructure implications to it, general business uses to it. So there's a lot of different ways that cybersecurity, as we know, it's a very topical thing, impacts our daily life. Quantum technologies are going to be able to make that life so much more secure than what we're currently doing today. And arguably, we are doing that. We're just launching off our cybersecurity product, which is going to enhance that capability. It's actually going to bring quantum technologies into the cybersecurity space.
Wow. And quantum sensing, we talked a little bit about quantum sensing last time. Can you talk to a little bit about where that's going to fit into the market?
Let me just kind of cap off on the cyber side. I believe from a company standpoint, that's really going to make our mark in the commercial space today. I think the cyber piece of this is going to be huge because of just the vulnerabilities we have. But equally as opportunistic for us, or at least an opportunity, not necessarily opportunistic, is moving into the sensing space and applying quantum technologies to things like medical imaging. Being able to use low power to do what X-rays can do today, or CT scans. You'll be able to do that with our quantum imaging technology, effectively using a LiDAR type of technology. And there's other types of sensing technologies. So we talk about LiDAR for autonomous vehicles or for a whole myriad of uses. But the most popular one that people think about is of course the autonomous driving vehicles, and being able to see further, more fidelity around the imaging, better speeds, acquisition of the image in front of you and processing that information. That's all quantum photonics or quantum LiDAR capability powered by photonics. Other types of imaging and sensing types of capabilities we have that we're going into the marketplace with are the ability to determine stress fractures or weaknesses in metals, for example. So we have something called a vibrometer, which can actually at distance determine the weaknesses in a bridge. So for infrastructure applications, this would be a great technology. Of course, where I came out of with Homeland Security, it was all about infrastructure. And the road infrastructure or aircraft wings and things like this, those types of infrastructures they fail, and the more we can get insight into them, obviously the safer they can be.
Yeah.
And some other corporate development that we read about is your random number generator, or your quantum random number generator. Can you talk a little bit about walk us through what that is and what the potential market applications are for something like that.
So that's I'd say our first, outside of our computational capability, our DIRAC, that's our first real product in the quantum space, outside of our computational capability. A quantum random number generator. So random number generators have been around for a long time, right? And they're used for security, they're used for simulations in the financial markets and the risk management markets, but they're not really random. There's a pseudo component to that. So pseudo random number generators still do a great job in the marketplace today, but they reach their limit. So for folks who are really doing, the hardcore financial analysis that's going on, developing simulations on financial modeling, need to have true random number generators. And with our quantum capability, we've developed a truly random quantum random number generator. That number will never repeat in our lifetime.
Oh, wow.
So it may not mean anything to the average individual, but to the people who are really, like I said, in the simulations market, risk management in cybersecurity or in encryption, it really is very meaningful. Yeah. So we're an entrant in that marketplace. It's a big market. I'm not going to make my company's business around this, but clearly it's a great opportunity for us to get into the marketplace.
It kind of sounds like something like a casino would use, like gaming.
Right, gaming, exactly.
Brokerage firms.
That's a perfect application for it. So anywhere you have these sort of randomness types of events, they have to be generated by something that a random number generator is really predicated on.
Yeah, the casinos, the house is now really always going
That's right, that's right. Or it becomes more fair.
Right, or it becomes, there you go, that's
right. Bob, thank you so much. Hunter,
yeah,
thank you as well.
Thank
so
you,
interesting.
Thanks
for the update.
I appreciate it.
The Sustainable Green Team is a leading provider of environmentally conscious solutions in the arbor care, disposable, and recycling industry. We are a green manufacturer of green waste to usable product solutions. We recently partnered with VRM Biologic, which has manufacturing and distribution rights for the world-leading soil moisture technology, HumaSoil. Find us on OTCQX as the stock ticker SGTM. The time to invest in the future of sustainability is now for this generation and future generations.
The Sustainable Green Team is an emerging provider of environmental solutions in various situations, and also a wholesale creator and supplier of mulch and also lumber. And with me is the CEO, Tony Raynor, to talk about the company. You've got all kinds of exciting things that you've been doing lately, uplisting as well to the OTC. So explain that and how you got there.
Yeah, so this has been quite the journey. We've been OTC Pink for a few years now. And we finally made the plunge to go ahead and go to the OTCQX. So we were able to do that, and it was a great experience for our team. Yeah. Yeah, it was really exciting to be able to accomplish that.
What does that mean then for the business? What will you be able to do that you weren't when you were?
Well, it's more transparency to the public. Okay. It opens up for more investors to be able to invest in our stock as well. And so it's just taking us up to the next level, before we decide to do anything beyond that.
Yeah, okay, great. So, and you just had a global vision meeting, which it was in Orlando with your leadership team, and a lot of exciting, innovative announcements were made there, correct?
I got to tell you, there was some power in the room there. We had a great time, and actually, we've got a clip that we can show of that right now.
Okay.
Just in 2022, just in 1 year, if you think about how much we've been able to accomplish as a group, I don't know about you, but to me, it is mind-blowing.
This is a humanitarian effort. This is bigger than all of us.
It's not a coincidence that we have a life-altering global opportunity to impact humanity in a way that it hasn't been impacted maybe ever.
We are going to change the way the world looks at sustainability, the way that we can process food, and ultimately what the soil in the ground is going to do for every human and every plant and every animal that roam the earth. That's how big this is going to be.
I truly believe that this opportunity is going to be transformational, and I am going to be a major partner making sure it's successful.
We talk about a team here, but to me it's more of a family than a team. How big of a family, SGTM really is.
Saving not only America, but the world.
The thing you do is higher
people around you that do know how to do it.
Because this is a now moment. This is life changing.
And everybody here is an integral part of this. But how did I get so lucky to get to share this in media?
We are a privileged and blessed team that has the opportunity to serve the world and impact the world.
As a team, it's just been life-affirming and life-changing for us.
It's not easy, but with a team like this, I'm telling you, we've shifted. The tide that's been held back has been released. 23 is going to be the year of complete release.
SGTM sounds good to me.
We're going to work with him. We're going to support him. We're going to support the dream. We're going to keep going forward because there's a lot more coming. Hold on to your socks.
SKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SKUR. Visit SKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
SKUR is a platform where you can email, message, and it's all secure. They don't mine your data. And with me is the CEO, Alain Ghiai, to talk about the company. We're in a new year now, and just like the finances. Alain, let's talk about that a little bit. Like how do things look financially, and any projections for 2023?
Yeah, so, projections are always projections, but what I can tell you is we ended up the year with a good cash amount. We have a budget this year, I think, of about $2.3 million to spend, and we ended the year with about $3 million or something like that, more or less. So we have cash in the bank, we have no debt. We also project 50% more sales than we did in 2022 or higher, depending on a few things. So we have quite a lot happening in the first couple quarters. We have some new products coming up. We're going to optimize our website. We're going to use more search engine optimization and marketing to get more of that organic and paid search. And we're onboarding some partners, some B2B resellers, which we have announced, I think, back in December. So unfortunately, the market has been terrible for us in the stock version of it, but the business is quite sound and looking good.
Yeah, well, that's what they call in Wall Street value. So you can find some value there. So let's talk about the stock price. So what happened, as you mentioned, it kind of was moved with tech stocks, I felt like, last year.
That's it.
Okay, so explain why it's not performing as you would have expected.
Well, you had a couple of liquidity events. Sometimes you have some, I guess, funds or large shareholders that exit. There was tax loss selling. Obviously, all of 2022 was horrific for the tech stocks, or others too, I'm sure. It wasn't a good year for the stock market, but it reminds me of an interview I've seen with Jeff Bezos on Bloomberg, where during the dot-com, the stock went from $100 to $6 for Amazon, but he was looking at how many books he was selling, and the internal metrics were good. So he really focused on the business. This is what we are obviously doing. I mean, today, if you buy our share, you're buying, it's 70% of the value of the stock is in cash. So that's quite an unusual situation. Typically, companies are low in cash in the microcap world. I believe that once we get a couple quarters under our belt, things will improve, because you have the technical trade where people obviously sell for like how the market has been. When you have large cap going down 70%, we are not going to be immune to a sell-off. And then you have the algorithmic market makers and all that kind of keeps that trend. To reverse that trend is harder, but that's exactly why I bought 3 million shares in the last 3 months in the market. The last day of the year, I bought 500,000 shares because I can see what will happen in 3 years. And every time I buy a stock, I have to file my SEDI filing, so it's out there in the public. People know when insiders are buying or selling. Management directors, everybody bought into the market because it's an amazing value as far as we can see. This is not obviously a promotion to tell people to go and buy our shares, but at this value, when you're buying a stock and 70% of the value is in cash, in a micro cap, it's extremely unusual. So we're hoping to reverse that. But right now we're focused on the business as usual, even more this year. We have a target to return to basically get a profitability within 24 months. We're going to push as hard as we can to do that within 12. And that's a huge thing because we're not selling our user base email list or data to others, whereas big tech does that all the time. This is a known fact. You know, these are advertising companies more than privacy company. If you want privacy, then you buy a secure account and you have full privacy and security.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alain, for the update, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Jane, and see you guys next week.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Verify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
Zenith Prep Academy has spent the last 15 years perfecting the college admissions strategy by giving guidance, having worked with more than 1,000 families, both nationally and internationally. And with me is Kevin Hong, the program director, Zenith Prep Academy. So, of course, I told you I have a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old, so I'm right in the middle of what you do. But it's never been harder, right, for a kid to get into the college that they prefer. So what does Zenith do to help them in that process?
Sure, I'm glad you asked that. I think every single year more and more students apply to college, and last year, to no one's surprise, there was a record-breaking number of applicants. And so given how competitive things are in today's current college admissions environment, I think the most important thing that we do for these parents and students is really taking them from reactive to proactive so they can take control of the admissions process. It's hard to stand out to these universities if you're just doing the same things as everyone else. And so the focus that we've always had here is really working with each student and understanding their strengths both in and outside the classroom, because ultimately that's what helps them stand out in the admissions process.
Now you have worked with, I said, 1,000 families. So, I mean, and then you must have a track record of success, and there's a lot of word of mouth, I assume. What do you attribute your success to?
Sure. I think bottom line, we get these parents and students results. And I think a large part of that is not just giving them peace of mind, but also comfort as they go through the process. There's so many unknowns when it comes to college admissions. And so by being able to take them through the process, not only are we able to set the right expectations, but also give them a proven roadmap that we know is going to work.
Yeah, and then what makes you different from some of the other? There's quite a few college prep organizations out there. How is Zenith different?
You know, I think the standard approach out there is to optimize for the university. And the approach that we've always taken here is to really optimize for the student. I think it's easy to say, you know, here are some top universities, here's a checklist of things to do. It's just 1, 2, 3. There's like some kind of template out there, right? But the reality is that each student is really inherently different from another. And so the focus has always been to really work with the student, right? Figure out what they're good at, help them double and triple down on their strengths, because that's what colleges ultimately want to see. They want to see a student that knows what they want, right? Can get really good at something and really focus on that.
What kind of parents hire you?
You know, I would say more than anything, it's really the parents of 6th to 12th graders that really care about their child's education. I think across America, what's really important for parents is really helping their child just achieve the best. And I think as any parent, you know, can tell you, the most valuable thing that you can give your child is really options in life. And so for us, we really work with 2 demographics of students, right? The first are students that are high academic achievers, as we call them. And so these are students that are going to get all A's, they have a top GPA and SAT score. And for them, it's really preventing them from getting rejected by a top university. And the reason for that is having a top GPA and SAT score no longer guarantees admission even into a top 25 school. And I think that's what shocks a lot of these parents. And the second type of student are students that don't have the best GPA and SAT scores. And for them, it's really about helping them get into a better university than they otherwise thought was possible. Now, the good news is that here in the United States, we have what we call a holistic admissions process. And that's just a long way of saying you can get into a better university, right? Your GPA and SAT score don't necessarily dictate the universities that you have to attend, right? So the truth is, it's easier than most parents and students think, and that's exactly what we've done here for the last 15 years for our families.
So what would be one piece of advice you would give, like the first piece of advice you give to a family? Take your time, be prepared, like what would you say?
You know, I would say more than anything, right? I think when it comes to working with these students, you know, even from just a strategy perspective, right? I think the goal that we always have here is to really help the child become the best possible version of themselves. I think there's this really, you know, common misconception that what's most important is that you have to be like hyper intelligent, right? It's all about pure intelligence to get into a really good college, when in reality, and this is the advice I would give any parent or student, is that it's really about giving the child as much time as possible, right? Time is what allows for a child to figure out what their strengths are, exponentially grow those strengths, and then continue doing that over enough time so they can really stand out in the admissions process.
Well, super interesting. I'm going to be living it very soon. So thank you so much, Kevin.
No problem. Thank you, Jane.
Thanks.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. AdZerify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
Welcome to your Secure Privacy and Security segment. I'm Anna Berry, along with Alain Ghiai, the CEO of Sekur Private Data. Welcome, Alain.
Thanks, Anna. Welcome, everyone.
All right, I hope you like my raspy voice. I'm battling a little bit of some throat issues, but we're going to push through today, and you can't even tell, right?
I can't tell whatsoever. It's probably the microphone.
Yeah, let's blame it on the microphone. Well, for our weekly hack today, we're going to talk about an important subject that is actually happening to me, and I'm sure a lot of other people out there, especially independent contractors, gig workers. It's the good old W-9 preparing for tax season. And I cannot tell you how many employers or how many people are asking me to send my very important information over my Gmail account. And I've learned, thanks to you, not to do that. So talk to us a little bit about what the dangers are and what the solutions are.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because your W-9 has your entire life. I think your social security number, your EIN number, or whatever. So these are numbers that people just send email. And I've heard about businesses, they say I use X or Y big tech email company, you know, filling the blank. We know who they are. And it's fun because they say it's secure. Well, why then do you read so much about business email compromise, where emails are intercepted all the time. I was having a chat today with one of our senior developer, and just to kind of go over the different encryption and security we have. So a lot of time people say, I have an encryption key and it's PGP or something else and peer-to-peer. But what happens is when you have to send an encryption key to a recipient to decrypt the message, that key is all over the internet. And yeah, it's kind of secure, but not as secure as what the hackers can get into. So it's unfortunate. There's no solution out there. People say, email me your W-9. Sometimes they even use the big tech messenger, which is even worse. So what we do at SKUR, we encourage you to, which is kind of what you did, I believe, from what you were telling me, you use the Secure Send feature of the Secure Mail. And Secure Mail is a solution that we offer, of course. Secure Send is essentially simplified, is a way for you to send to your employer the W-9. But instead, what they're getting is they're getting an email notification. It says, Anna sent you an email. Click here to read it. You can password protect that email. You can limit how many times they have a read review on it and, when it will expire and so forth, or just do nothing. But the point is when your employer clicks on the link, they are connected to our Swiss environment in Switzerland with our own proprietary technology and our own hardware. So we don't use third-party cloud companies. So if you buy monthly, you can go to secure.com and you buy monthly. An email is $7 a month. A business email is $10. The messenger is $5. The combo is $10 a month. If you buy a yearly account, you get 2 months for free. So it would be, let's say, for the email, it would be $70 per year paid in advance. We also offer a promo code called SECURE15, and that's essentially a 15% discount to the whole plan. So that's also on top of the yearly accounts. It's very affordable. I mean, if you buy coffee someplace, 2 coffees a month is the price of the privacy that you pay for SECUR. So I don't think it's a very onerous expense. Certainly for businesses, you should use the business tool, the business product, and as individuals, you should have a couple emails. So you have your two email for your, you're on a mailing list of something or all of that, and then you need to have a private email such as SECUR. We would recommend that or anything else out there, but we're really the only ones with that Secure Send feature and the only one that uses our own infrastructure in Switzerland, and we don't data mine anything because we make money from that $5, $7, or $10 that you pay us, and that's it. That's where it stops.
That's it. Wonderful. Do you have any promo codes for our audience today?
Yes, SECURE15 for 15% off. Use it, give it to your friends and family, and that's 15% off the yearly price on top. So you would get 42% off if you buy a yearly account.
Okay, wonderful. As always, learning so much from you. Thank you so much, Alain.
Thanks, Anna, and thanks to everyone for watching. See you next week.